goes on. The start here in front of Northerly Lodge. They face well. Red light is blinking. About to go off, close at hand, dwelt from the inside. It was the last of them to leave the gates. Brazen Empress and Rocket Juice were the best away. Gage Roads had early speed, so did Dennis Chew, and the sparks are flying as they come onto the course proper as they try and sort out an early leader. Gage Roads just in front from Rocket Juice. Brazen Empress posted deep. Bo Talk. Dennis Chew settled back on the inside of Busak. A length and a half close at hand, picking up ground after a tardy start from Invincible Ruby, followed by I'm CRAFTY pulling its head off back in the field from Mojo's Luck, and now dragged back to the rear feuding. The pace had been a bit muddling at the 900 mark, and Gage Roads leads the way a half a length. Rocket Juice pulling his way up there. They've really dropped anchor. Dennis Chew third down on the inside of Brazen Empress. Out there working around them is Bo Talk. It's out there in no man's land at the moment. A length and a half to Busak close at hand. It's now being urged along on the rail from Mojo's Luck, going up splitting horses but with nowhere to go either. Around them goes Invincible Ruby, looping the field from I'm CRAFTY as they bunch up. They're stacked and racked at the 400 mark. Feuding's last at the top of the home straight now, and over on the inside Gage Roads joined now by Rocket Juice. Invincible Ruby with that sustained run. Busak charging as well. Bo Talk, Dennis Chew gets an inside run, close at hand behind them. Rocket Juice on the outside in front of Gage Roads. Dennis Chew, Invincible Ruby and I'm CRAFTY down the outside. Rocket Juice, Dennis Chew, and now I'm CRAFTY wide out. They're across the track. They went to it. I'm CRAFTY. I thought it was I'm CRAFTY. 4-5 across the track from Invincible Ruby, Busak, Dennis Chew, wide out as well. Mojo's Luck. Great run fresh from Feuding, Rocket Juice, Gage Roads. Followed home then at the head of the others when they'd pulled up. Bo Talk and Brazen Empress will be amongst the last of them in. Waiting for the placings. Grandstand finish to round out the day here. The 10th. Many hopes at the 100. A reflection of what was a very wide betting race, and it could be I'm CRAFTY right out there in the middle of the track for Jason Whiting that has picked them up on the post. Number 8, I'm CRAFTY. Second up, 21 into $14. Found a few friends in the betting. Beats number 7, Dennis Chew. Invincible Ruby, third. And fourth, number 10, Busak. The time here for the 1500, 1:30.70. 8, 7, 9 and 10 are the numbers. 8, 7, 9, 10. And it got there by a head at the finish, right out near the middle of the track. A short half head second and third, but they were stretched across the course from one side to the other, like the charge of the Light Brigade a day after Anzac Day. 35.87 the last 600, 35.87. Fabulous result for Brad Senior, Jason Whiting here. A 4-year-old gelding by Starcraft out of Shining Rock for Mrs. A Senior, R Baxter, Mrs. K Baxter, B Senior, and also MD Georgioff, Jason Whiting getting home on one that they have spicked at longer odds. Downing 7, Dennis Chew, who hugged the rail, by Jimmy Chew. Joe has a party for David Harrison, and Invincible Ruby, who made that sustained run around the field in what was a bit of a topsy-turvy run race, and the demerit mare holding third for Alex Hearn and trainer Jackie Panizza to round out what has been a wonderful Kia Quokka day. Lockie Taylor's done a great job down in the yard in the winner's enclosure. Part owner and trainer Brad Senior makes his way down there after watching I'm CRAFTY snatch victory out there near the middle of the course in the absolute last stride. As we round it out from the broadcasting box, Lockie is down in the winner's enclosure.
Thanks, Darren. Yes, I'm catching up with Brad Senior after the win of I'm CRAFTY in the last of the day. Brad, congratulations on the win. Talk us through this horse's career. You look at his career on paper, that was only his second win from 10 starts now, but all throughout his preparation, he hasn't had a great deal of luck.
Yeah, no, he's been a handful, Lockie, from day one. We've had a lot of good people help us out all the way through. He just got to settle in his races, and he was a bit ordinary earlier, but Fish got him to settle good later. And we always thought he was up to this class, and we thought the speed of this grade of race would probably help him too. So we come here sort of in the deep end, but he hasn't let us down.
He was a long way back at some stages, but keeping in mind that he has over-raced in the large majority of races throughout his career. Were you growing in confidence when the second horse was really put into the race at an early stage and Fishy just followed his every move?
Yeah, when that horse went, I was stoked that he followed him through, and you know, he needs a bit of room to wind up, and he halfway down the straight, I didn't think he'd probably get there, but he got there in time, so that was beautiful. And you know, a beautiful ride from Jason Whiting. You know, he's got a beautiful set of hands, and we're very happy to have him on this type of horse.
A great week for the stable. Well done.
Doola, mate. Thank you.
There's Brad Senior after the win of I'm Crafty. What a week it's been for Brad and his very small team. 2 winners here at Ascot, and the team's absolutely flying. But Fishy, he had the last laugh. There were plenty of jockeys willing to put their mounts nice and early into the race, but Fishy, patient as always, he had the last laugh.
He certainly does, and it's just another feel-good story here at the end of the day, Lockie, isn't it? We're talking about combinations. Jason Whiting and Brad Senior with a winner here on Quokka Day, and even those back in the minor placings, Dennis Shue looked like the winner for a moment there. I thought Invincible Ruby was going to run over them. She's run out of her skin into third as well, and Busak, unfortunately, he just manages another just outside the money performance from him. It's 8, 7, 9 and 10. Jason Whiting's having a good long chat here with Brad Senior, and then we'll get a word from him after the victory of I'm Crafty, Lockie. But for this horse, he was first up 1400 with 61 kilos. Didn't really make an impression first up, but the punters out there saw something. He was a firmer on the WAP late, and they landed the money. Absolutely.
Brad and his team have done a wonderful job with not only I'm Crafty, but I'm Napodi throughout this week. The team is absolutely flying, and Jason Whiting combines with Brad to take out the last of the day, and here he is catching up with Scotty.
Jason joins us now. Fishy, a winner in the last on Quokka Day. It's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Any win is good, but a big day like this is always nice to get one across the line.
What about jumping on this horse for the first time and not knowing much about him?
Yes, I watched a few of his replays today. I can see he sort of can be a bit of a headstrong bugger at times. Yeah, but he sort of gave me a nice feel when I got him to switch off enough. And once he's getting a track into the race, he felt good.
What was he like for you today? Was he a bit of a handful?
When I had one either side of me early and still had one on my outside, he sort of wanted to overdo things a little bit. Once the other one dropped off and he had sort of clear air on his outside, he relaxed nice.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
There's Jason Whiting combining with Brad Senior and I'm Crafty to take out the last of the day, and that rounds out what has been one of the funnest days of racing we've ever had here at Ascot, guys. Tessa, that was just a remarkable day. Bernie Miller, Pat Carberry, take it out.
Fantastic day indeed, and for so many of the locals we see it's such a sentimental thing. Obviously on the big stage we saw the roar of the crowd out there. Sweet Caroline played so loudly when we kept trying to do form ahead of the Quokka, and for that grand final stage it's just amazing. I've got goosebumps when Paddy went across the line first. I had tears in my eyes. It was just a fantastic day.
Scott, this is as good as it gets here in WA. Just a remarkable day.
I just want to continue to focus on Bernie Miller and Paddy Carberry. I mean, nothing in racing is a secret. Paddy Carberry turns 50 in the next 12 months. And when you think about elite sport, and these jockeys are elite sportsmen and women, and Paddy Carberry, to be able to still be at the peak of his game at the age of near 50, he's now ridden 5 Group 1 winners and a Quokka, which doesn't have a group status yet because it's such a new race, but I think we can all agree it had a Group 1 feel about it here today. He just mentioned that was probably the best moment he's had in racing in the closing stages there. And again, for Bernie Miller, well, he's now in his 70s, and that is something that he will live through for the rest of his life. It's something that all of his connections will love. Paddy Carberry, I'm sure, will have a fair bit of fun tonight. Yep. Bernie Miller, just a little bit less fun because at 1:30 tomorrow, that alarm will go off and he'll go see Lukey.
Absolutely, and he might be getting calls for an Everest, which is hard to believe later this year. But it's been a huge day of racing here at Ascot. Thank you so much for joining us on racing.com, 7+ on Racing WA TV. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's good night from us.